Alright, y'all. So it's round 3 of 5. We're gonna start getting started. Hello everyone. Welcome to Intro to Tech, HTML and CSS. I am ACM's Technical Officer, Jacob Ellerbrock, and some stuff about me. I'm currently a senior. Been with ACM for about 2.5 years now. I've been in the Technical Officer position for about a year now, turning in November, I think. And I've done a whole lot of web dev in my past 4 years here at UTSA, mainly with like the more powerful stuff, but HTML and CSS is really the bare bones, the very foundation of web development that I think a lot of people should know. It's very different from your normal coding language. In fact, people argue that it's not a coding language. It's more of just a building block and being able to customize these building blocks. So before we get started, we can. So you can scan this QR code to check into the event. To become an ACM member, we don't charge anything. It's actually completely free. Our sponsors pay for it all, but we do like to have your membership. So if you want to become a member, you have to go to 7 events, check into these events, and yeah, you register in our database. Yeah, what's up? The check-in portal? Are you with this, Josh? You can fix it? Okay, thank you. Josh is gonna fix that. I will put a QR code up at the end of the event. Sorry about that. Next thing, don't mind joining our ACM Discord. I will be actually posting some links, some resources for y'all. So you rather don't have to type out the long URL. This is how you join our Discord. And I can show you right now what our Discord looks like. So on the left hand of the channels, I'm gonna go to event log, and then you'll be able to see this form. At the very top, the HTML and CSS Intro Tag Workshop, where I've posted a whole bunch of links. For anyone right now that's working on it, if y'all don't mind right now downloading VS Code, it's this first link. VS Code is the, I guess, industry standard of IDEs. It's by Microsoft, and it's pretty much built for web dev. It's what 90% of web dev developers use. So VS Code is the big recommendation to start with web development experience. Okay, so now getting into the meat and potatoes of this workshop. So first, what is a website? We've all gone to plenty of websites before. In fact, our ACM portal, Google, Wikipedia, they're all just different types of websites, but they're all built using the same thing, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We will be going over the first two, HTML and CSS, but right now I want to jump from this PowerPoint to just pull up a random website. For example, I've just pulled up Wikipedia of UTSA. You can actually go to any browser, any website, and lots of browsers support this, where you can hit F12 and pull up a debug menu of the website. And you can see this is all HTML. This is all stuff that we can write. Everything is built using these building blocks. For example, this HTML tag right here basically dictates that it's a HTML document. All of these divs are containers that can be used. You can click these drop down arrows to view more. Like this right here, this is a tag that we'll be learning soon. But every single website is built using these building blocks. So don't think you have to like learn like 5 different languages or 10 different languages to build these super massive websites. You can build it all with this information that I'm about to teach y'all right now. So if you're ever curious about like how does this website create this kind of spherical box or different colors, hit F12 on the browser and then go to your inspector and just go through the HTML, see what they use, because coding is a lot of like, I wouldn't say stealing, more like copying. People copy other people's code. Like you'll see people use the same format. Like there's a navigation bar on the left right here. There's this nav bar at the top with a donate, create, login, login. All websites that kind of use this format. So don't feel embarrassed to try and take some other people's stuff, because again, it's all out there. So feel free to use it. So we talk about what is a website and what does an internet browser do. Internet browser essentially reads in an HTML file and just turns it into things you can more easily see. For example, if you have done in other coding languages, how you would write it and then you would run it using whatever compiler or run function that it has. The browser is kind of like running the HTML script or file. It just turns it into readable format. So I've been throwing around the word HTML and CSS a lot. So essentially, HTML is the structure of a website. It is how you create what text is going to be on websites. It's going to be the links. It's going to be the images or the videos. CSS is for styling. Before CSS essentially makes it look pretty. You can add colors, background colors, boxes around it, margin padding. The way I was taught it is kind of like how you format a sentence with nouns, adjectives, verbs. HTML is the noun. It is like the base object of website. CSS is the adjective. It describes the noun. It makes the noun look pretty. And then JavaScript is the verb. It's how you add action to your website. We're not going to be going over JavaScript right now, as it's completely another whole kind of word within HTML and CSS. But if you have time after this and you want to learn more about web development, search up JavaScript. It's very, very powerful than we have still used today. So another example down here, last bullet point. This blue square button logs you into the web page. You can code a button in HTML. You use a button in HTML and CSS to make it blue and square. So the blue square button, blue and square is the CSS. The button is the HTML tag. And then to get to log you into the website, that is JavaScript doing the work. Where is my mouse? Okay. So now HTML. HTML is short for Hypertext Markup Language. Again, it is not a strict coded language. It is like strictly building blocks. If you have ever heard of markup language, it is essentially a bunch of tags that can be placed within each other. We'll go over some right now. So these are what HTML tags look like. They have these angle brackets and then some information inside of them. I highly recommend having a web page like this up. I'll give you the resources later about what these tags are. But H1 is a header. It's a number 1 header. You can go from 1 to 6. I will show you examples of that later. P is a paragraph. It's just a plain block of text. BR is line break, and then HR is a horizontal line. And we can actually jump into VS Code right now to actually try and show you some of this stuff. So what you have first to do is you just create a folder on your desktop, and we can name it Intro Tech. So we have this folder. We will be putting all of our HTML code inside of it. Now let's launch up VS Code, and right over here on the left side, we have this blue button, Open Folder. And with this, we can then open up the folder we just created. Make sure to click on the folder and don't open it. You can open up the folder you created. Now inside VS Code, you are in that folder. You say yes, I trust it because you made it. And now let's start adding files. So come up here to the top left. You hit the first icon whenever you hover over the folder you named, and that's a new file. And we need to name it index.html. It has to be named index.html, or else the browser is not going to know where to start. It is industry standard to first load index.html every time a web page is created. So now, I actually have some starter code here in the forum thread. So right here, you can just copy all of this and then put it into the file. This is again kind of industry standard about what this is. It's from our Discord. So do you want me to pull up the Discord link again? Are we able to join it? Okay, so yeah, it's under event log, and then our first one right here is from this forum thread. So I can briefly explain what all these things do. You don't really need to necessarily know it, as you essentially will be writing this same stuff over and over again every website you do. This doc type up here, this essentially tells the computer, hey, it's an HTML document. It's use HTML5, the latest version, because sometimes it may think, oh, I want to use HTML1 or 2. No, we just want to use the latest version. And then this is really what dictates what an HTML document is this HTML lane en. So everything has to be inside this HTML tag. So you can see here's the beginning, and here's the end. So this dictates what is the starting and the end part of the tag. Yes, so the code, it is in our Discord. Event log, it'll be under info. It'll be an event log, you'll pull up the forms, and then you can click on the first one. The top one, HTML, CSS, enter the text. And it'll be right here in this one. Yeah, I'll be here. What we plan on doing is actually go over this stuff in the next like 20 minutes, and then I'll give y'all all time to try and build something yourselves. I'll be walking around, able to help y'all. So yeah, HTML laying English. English essentially means that the website's in English. If you were to use other language codes, you can see what change what the slang is. Alright, and then the head and the body. So the head of an HTML file is essentially contains a whole bunch of data about the website. For example, the title. So my website is essentially again the title of the website. You can change information in here to whatever you want. This is what will show up at like whenever your tabs open up. There's a name of the tab. This is what will be there. Char set. This is essentially what kind of text is used. There are many different types of text formats. You can just stick with UTF-8. That's the most common one. And then style sheet. We will cover this later. And then the body. This is the stuff that you put into your document. And you see in each one header tag we talked about previously. Now I'm sure you're wondering, how do we see this in action? So first, you can come over to this this little panel right here, this icon, extensions. Click on it, and then search live server. And it'll be the one by Ritwick Day. This is an extension of VS Code. One of the main benefit things about VS Code is that there's a large extension library. People have created a whole bunch of extensions to use however you want. We're going to be installing live server. You can go ahead and install this extension, and whenever you install it, you can then come up here to the top left to explore document again, and then you will then have a new option. You can right click or command click on your file and click on this one right here. This very first option, open with live server. So it's going to open a new browser, and here's HTML that you've just written. This is how your browser is reading the HTML. That's the header 1. Welcome to my website. We can go back to VS Code and change it to whatever we want. Once you save it, we can go back to the browser. Now it moves to hello world. So we can write whatever we want in that header 1. So now, we talked about before all the headers, the paragraph tag, and the line breaks. You can show examples of them right now. So these are all the headers. So if we were to write all of this in VS Code, it will output to that. So the header 1 is really big, header 2 is slightly smaller, all the way down to what a paragraph is with a normal text. And then the other items are lists. So for example, if you want to list a bunch of items, you have order list and unordered list. OL stands for order list. It turns them into 1 or 2, and they you increment as numbers. Unordered list, UL, are just bullet points. And to add a list item, you would add LI instead of tags. Now notice that there's not just text in the tags. There are tags within tags. And this is what's called like waterfalling in HTML. Is it will branch out, or you can put things inside of other things, For example, you would put item 2 inside of list item, but all the list items are inside of ordered list. This is the powerful thing about HTML, is that you can put things inside of things. We'll learn later how to possibly maybe put an image inside of ordered list, or a paragraph inside of ordered list, or inside of this item. So yeah, essentially you can put whatever you want inside of ordered list, and it'll appear as 1 or 2. Some other tags are bold, emphasis or italics, underline, mark to highlight. Q for quote, S for the strike through, and superscript and subscript. Let me show you an example right now. So let's say you want to add a bold text of our name. So what we can do is add a paragraph tag with P. In VS Code, it'll autofill our ending tag, and then try our name. So now my name is going to show up on the website underneath the header tag. Here's our name. So you can see it matches the format of how we wrote it in VS Code. The headers first, and then our name. If we were to switch these, it would be switched on the website. So I mentioned previously we want to bold it. So again, we can put tags inside of tags. So what we can do is add the B, and then close it elsewhere, like this. So now inside of our paragraph tag, we're going to add a bold text with our name. Now our name will appear bold. You can do the same thing. You can add italics as well. So add in the I tag, or sorry, EM for emphasis, or whole assortment of things. Alright, so here's some more tags. Image is img. A is a hyperlink or anchor tag. This is essentially how you would link to other things. For example, maybe you want to link to your GitHub or your Instagram. You would write it in a link. Video, essentially just you can embed a video. And then tables. Tables are a little more complicated. I'm not going to cover them right now. We're running behind schedule a little bit. But again, I will give y'all resources to try all this stuff out. So I'm going to actually try and add a link. So what we can do is use A to add a link, and then we can say whatever text we want in it. Let's just say Instagram. So now whenever we come back to the website, there's our anchor tag. So notice we can't really do anything. We can't use it to access anything. That's actually because we have to tell it where to go. So this is where HTML tags get a little more complicated, but you can actually add properties or tag data to some tags in HTML. For example, right here in this image, you can add a source. You gotta add a source. So you can't just pull any, or you can't just call an image. You have to actually have the file data or a link somewhere. So you can use where you want to source from, and then you put it inside quotes. And then having this alt property is a common practice, because what if the image doesn't load or something breaks? This is this alt text will show. And then another thing to notice is that there's not a closing tag. Remember how all of our other tags had this the copy with a slash in front of it, the slash to indicate it's closing. These images don't. This is because there's not really a way to put information inside of an image, so you can just use the slash to dictate that there's not going to be a closing tag. Just put it in this one data. Here's the link that we said before. We got to make it link to somewhere. You have to add href equals, and then in quotations the address you want to go to. We can do that right now. So inside the tag, we type href equals, it'll fill with quotes, and then we say where we're going to Instagram.com. If you want something to your profile, I don't know what the last address is, but I'm choosing just for your name, whatever. We're just going to the home page. Now if we save it and then go back to our website, see now it's turned blue because that's the default hyperlink. And if we see at the bottom, I'm not sure if y'all can see it, but it'll link to Instagram.com. But notice, up here in the URL, it actually tried to link to something within our web page. We actually don't want that. We want it to link to the actual web. So we got to specify HTTPS like that. So links are powerful because they can navigate you to a website, or you can add other documents in here. For example, if we had Instagram.html, we can have that linked to this document. So I'm going to pull over the code again, and we're going to say Instagram. And now if we change it, change this back to what it was before. If we tell it to link to instrument.html, it's going to link to this second file. This is how websites generate pages or different HTML sites. So for example, back in the Wikipedia example where I had UTSA pulled up, that was a whole separate HTML document. If you have it linked somewhere else, that links to a different HTML page that is written just like this. Now if we go back, read again. See, now it's going to instrument.html, and now this is what we had in our other page. That's how you can link between pages, is with the anchor tag, or you can have it linked to the actual Instagram site by typing its full URL, including the HTTPS and www. So and then video is the same thing as the image. You have to have the source somewhere, and then you have to specify what type it is, like what file type, and then this text if it can't run it. So I have an example of an image right now. Is I found a rowdy picture and put an image tag. So you can see here's the image tag, and then the source is the link to the image. You can go on Google Images, find the link to it. You can like right click and find copy address or copy image. Sorry, not copy image and link, and you'll get this link, and then you can put it inside the source. And then the alt data tag is in case the image doesn't load, and you will display whatever image is, in this case rowdy. So here is a website of a whole bunch of HTML tags. I have not talked about all of them. There's no way I can talk about all of them. There are so many. So this website has a very good list of all of them. It is already in the Discord as well. HTML resources right here. So this website has a lot of good information for you. So then here's the head and HTML we talked about. You're gonna learn more about basics. Here's the emphasis that we talked about. And there's a whole lot of different HTML tags that we can use. Here's location. Again, images. And the special thing about the website, I love that we do schools. You can actually click on it, click on the tag, and then you'll learn more about it. Like here's the source, and the alt. You can actually specify a width and a height. I recommend that you go to this website, have the website up when you're developing websites, and just go through it. Honestly, it is a lot of fun. You're not gonna be able to learn everything all at once, so just start by building things, and then you'll gain a lot of experience from it. Alright, now we're going to jump into the second part of building websites, is CSS, cascading style sheets. So again, CSS is how you make the HTML look pretty. Remember, right now it kind of looks not the best, right? It's just black and white. The tag or the anchor, the link tags are a little bit of color, but it's just all on the left. It's all black and white and same font. Looks ugly. We can use CSS to make it look better. So there are several ways to implement CSS. Again, in the waterfall methodology, there are different priorities or ways that CSS is implemented before others. So, for example, inline CSS is the highest priority. We have an example right here. Yeah. So remember back with the tag data, you can add style right here, and then inside quotes, you put your CSS inside those quotes. That is inline. That is what always gets read at the end. Internal CSS goes at the top or in your head tag. Remember the head tag is at the top over here, so it will go up here. It will go up here in style, and you put your CSS in here. And then the last one is external. which is essentially in its whole separate file. That is actually what this does. This link right here, link style sheet. So if I were to create a CSS file called style.css inside this directory like this, I can actually write CSS in here, and this will get loaded as well, as long as I have this encrypted style sheets. That is the third priority. So essentially what happens is it's going to first load everything in style.css in your externals, and then it's going to load internals, everything in the style part in this, and then it's going to load anything in the inline. The inlines always have the highest priority, and they will always be loaded or overwrite whatever is written in the inline or the external. So talk about some CSS tags. Color, we can add color to everything. You can actually set the background color or just normal text color by typing background color or color. You can CSS has a whole bunch of built-in colors already. For example, we can do it right now. So let's say we want to change the color of this hello world. So what we do is type style and then hit equals. Then in the quotes, we can type color colon, and then we just pick a color. So let's do dark magenta. Now once we save it, we can come back to our website, and now our hello world is dark magenta. Another part you can do is say your color is not like in one of the preloaded colors. You can do RGB values. So you can do RGB, and then hit enter. I hit enter, and it will autofill with some values. So since RGB, you put a value from 0 to 235, so I'll just say 100, 150. So now whatever RGB value is, that is some ugly dark yellow. It now becomes dark ugly yellow. And then something else you can do is background color actually. So instead of doing color, do background color, and then I'm just going to use these colors again. Do black. So now the background color will be black, and now this is a black bar. If we want to change the text color to white, we would also just add color white. Oh, and there has to be a semicolon in between all of your statements. So if you can add multiple CSS tags in one style line, as long as you separate it by a semicolon. So now hello world will be, its background color will be black, but its color will be white. If you reload it, I save it, and then reload it. There we go. Now the background color is black, and the text is white. That is how you implement color. Next is margin and padding. So this is, you would type color white like this. But if you want to have multiple CSS styles, you have to have a semicolon. So one CSS thing, and then semicolon, and then your second one, and then you can add a semicolon to that as well. Now, margin and padding. This is, if y'all have ever worked with like Word documents and you've like seen like the margins. Margins are essentially space between the borders of the outers of the HTML element. For example, in this example right here, I've added 20 pixels of margin to the top and 20 pixels of margin to the left, as well as making the background red so we can see like what the bounding box is. And you can see that this distance is 20 pixels. However, padding adds distance of the things inside of it from the actual inside of the element. For example, the distance between the box is 20 pixels of padding. This concept is a bit complicated. It will just take some time to get used to, and things will again not look good until you really master it. So I recommend playing around with margin versus padding to see like how you can get it to look how you want it to. The thing that I always remember is margin will change essentially everything about the element, where padding will change just the contents inside of it. For example, this hello the entire thing, including the background color, is moved with margin, but just world is moved inside of the box with padding. Alright, so again, here's another link to some HTML, or sorry, not HTML, CSS. This is also in the Discord, the CSS resource right here. There's also a W3 Schools section on CSS that talks more about tags. Again, there's a lot more to it than just margin padding and color. Again, I highly recommend that you keep these websites open and just try and put things in, see what it looks like, mess around with like some of the tags, how you change what you want. And yeah, that's essentially all I have. I encourage y'all to try making your own website. For now, just work on adding things that you want. Maybe start like with a basic portfolio. Put your name as the header. Add some images of yourself. Maybe add a list of like things you worked on, what classes you're taking, or a paragraph of stuff about you. And use that live server to show have a result of what you're making. That is really all I have. I'll be walking around for the next 15 minutes or so. I do have an exam at 4 I need to run to, but I'll be here until around 3:50 to answer any questions y'all have. I'm excited to see what y'all come up with. Again, keep these links open, these websites right here, these resources. Even I refer to these websites over and over again, and I am been doing web dev for 2 or 3 years now. Because again, you're not gonna know everything. There's always been some special edge cases where you'll never know what you need. So have these links open, and yeah, that's all I have. Thank y'all. I can't wait to see what y'all create. I'll stop the stream.